evening. And today's Pocket Jacks. So, mid position limps. And it's on me. So, this player's playing 55-14, playing a lot of hands. He calls a lot too. So, we're looking at 47%. His raise first in 43%. 6 out of 14. So possibly I don't think I think he probably does more limping from early position, but since he didn't raise, I think we are looking at something pretty weak. And I'm not even sure. Maybe these one gappers, maybe those. Because he raises so frequently, I think you would give him all of the pocket pairs. I mean, that's not a super tight range, but I mean, it's a small range, but just when we look at his mid position, I mean, raise first sin's 43%. I don't think he does a whole lot of limping at that point. So I think it's a messed up range, but that could be something that he plays. Maybe these are offsuits, connectors there. Maybe something like that. Now us, I think he's very weak. We should be betting for value. We should be betting quite a few of our hands, and what we're trying to do is bet. And he does call. When we look at limp and call raise, it's 50%. I'm going to expect to probably get called. Our goal with raising is to try to get heads up. Neither player looks to be overly loose in terms of calling. I mean, he's calling. I take that back. This guy, definitely 43%. So I think if we bet, there's a chance that he calls. So if we're going to try to isolate, we should probably raise up to 5 or 6 big blinds. Definitely, if he's just going to call 4 big blinds, make it bigger, especially build the pot. So I think this is going to be my raise. I raised to 4. I think that's probably a little small given these players. And sure enough, this guy, villain 6, calls. So what has he done in the small blind? He has 43%, 3 out of 7. His 3 bets, let's take a look at his 3 bets. It's only 1 out of 7. So he could be looking at really just only 3 betting something like that. We're going to give him the offsuit connectors. Maybe something like that, pretty wide. And then both guys fold, so this guy folds. And now it's on. Now we get to see the board. So 31.2, 414 combos. He is playing 42.8% with 568 combos. The board reads 6 of hearts, 9 of clubs, 9 of spades. And with that board, we have 52.3%, and he has 47.7% equity. All right, so he does dunk 29%, but this isn't really a board that I'd expect a dunk. So I think he's probably going to check his entire range, and now it's on us, and we have to think about what are we going to be betting here. He folds c-bets out of position 50% of the time, in position 1 out of 1. I think he's probably going to be calling any pair. I think he would be calling any pair. Probably draws. But you can see there really isn't a whole lot out there for him to call. So I think he's going to be folding at a pretty high frequency, which means we should probably be betting quite a few hands. So we're looking at these. We're looking at ace high, pocket pair below the board, these middle pairs, so sixes, a pocket pair below the top card. That's kind of a mix between value. Possibly just all of these overcards. 93.7 because I just kind of think I'm not sure if I want to do all of the 2-card backdoor flushes. Definitely with those overcards, if we have them, it makes it less likely that our opponent has overcards, and I think those are going to be the cards that could actually call. So I think this is kind of like my betting range here. What do I do? And I do bet, so I'm going to go with that range. That's going to be 93.7, and we're betting at such a high frequency because I don't think he's going to be calling it a whole lot. He's continuing 37.6%. He's folding, geez, 63%, 62 to 63%. Now, he could call with the overcards, but given that he folds a lot, I think he's going to only continue here if he has some sort of connection. So we will look at that. He calls. We're going to say that that's what he called with. He's 37.3%. He's got 183, and that means that all of our bluffs, we're going to have to really just kind of tone back our bluffs. So 3 of spades hits. That's not a terrible card, but you can see that our equity is not very good. And it's because, we had so many bluffs in our range. He checks to us. I'm going to assume he checks quite frequently, and now it's on us. And the question is, what do we bet? So I do think when we look at ranges here, he's got, at least pocket pair quite often. If I bet, what hands does he call with? Well, if he doesn't believe we have 9s, then he probably will call the 7s and 8s, and probably call 6s as well. I could see 4s or 5s folding. Maybe. Could be 100%. And now you're looking at, over 50% is pairs. So I think for our value, we're going to be doing over pair. I think we're going to check our pocket pair below the top card. I think we're going to check middle pair, weak pairs. I think we're still going to bet our flush draw. Open ended straight draw. Probably the gut shot, because I think we're going to get a few calls or a few folds. But you can see that we've really just kind of tightened up. We went from very high c-bet percentage down to pretty low second barrel. Now I think if we had overcards came, I think we're going to be a little bit more liberal in our bets because we have possibly that overcard helps our range, but not this one, not so much. The flush, these we're betting because we're thinking we're going to get paid if we connect. Get paid now because if the flush gets there, let's say the spade gets there, he might not call. And if we bet and he comes over the top and he check raises us, we're just gonna be folding. So I think that's my C bet, my continuation range. I didn't bet, so let's get those. Let's get these X out. All right, so that's my range. Since I checked, it's going to be 75.5%, 262 combos. He still has 100% of his range. And now, if he leads into us, he has probably a pair. So 5 of hearts gets there. My range, my equity is not good. He bets 26 big blinds. I think since we showed weakness, he could be betting any pair here. Even the weak pairs, just trying to get folds. Could possibly be doing ace high as a loose player. I mean, his 3-bet range is 6-3 suited. Probably any pair. We're going to say that is his range, and then it comes down to us. How low can we call? Oops. So we need 36% equity, nothing, based on our range, basically Broadway, king high, queen high. We have 0% equity. Ace high, 0% equity. Weak pair, 5%. Middle pair, 26%. Pocket pair below the top pair, so 7s and 8s. I think that is where we start calling. So I think we're looking at something like this. Yeah. And I did call. But I know I don't have that. I had jacks. Now he shows king queen. He shows complete bluff. I didn't have king queen in here because should. Oh, because on the flop I didn't have him in there. But if we had overcards, that completely changes it now. So now he has the overcard, still has 100% of his range, and then now he has it. And if we think he can bluff that with nothing, then that kind of changes what we can call. The weak pairs at 51%, ace highs at 37%. So it's like ace high. Now, what happened to my jacks? So I know I have jacks. What happened? Where did I go wrong? I think it's right here because I should have bet. At least my bet, what I'm estimating is betting it. And I think the reason possibly I didn't do that is because maybe I thought if I bet he's going to fold his 6s, can fold his 3s. But thinking back now, I mean, if he doesn't believe that I have a hand, that 3 doesn't help at all. He's going to still call. Now, king queen probably isn't going to call, I don't think. But I could be wrong. I mean, king queen could easily call again because he thinks that I don't have a hand, and then when that 5 gets there, he could lead into me. Not the greatest hand, I don't think, but it's a hand, and we could learn from it. I do think I probably have to think about how does this hit my board, or how does the 3 hit my range, and how does the opponent view that 3? All right. Hopefully you like this. Check out tomorrow for another hand.